Every so often, a show comes along that doesn't just entertain, it completely takes over. And right now, that show is K-pop Demon Hunters. But here's the thing, it's about way more than catchy songs and cool fight scenes. We're going to dive into why this anime is a global phenomenon and unpack the argument that it might actually be a blueprint for a whole new way of seeing the world. Right from the jump, the show hits you with these powerful lyrics. And honestly, this is the key to the whole thing. It's not just an opening song, it's a mission statement. It's telling you straight up, this story is about us, together, using art to literally heal a broken world. And it looks like the whole world is listening. I mean, check this out. Over 9 million views on Netflix in just the first 3 days. That is insane. It became a global sensation almost overnight. Which kind of begs the question, why? What is it about this particular show that's grabbing everyone? Okay, so on the surface, the premise is just awesome, high-concept fun. You've got a K-pop girl group named Huntrix, but surprise, they're also demon hunters, and they're fighting demons who are disguised as a rival boy band. I mean, come on. Their weapon? Their music, which they use to create these spiritual force fields and save people's souls. It's an amazing hook, but the real magic, well, that's happening on a much deeper level.
So to really get what's going on, we have to look at the work of Professor Lee Young-goon. He makes this really compelling case that the show's massive success isn't just about the cool story. He argues that it's tapping into something deep, something ancient, what he calls a cultural DNA that's speaking to people all over the world who are just tired. Professor Lee basically says that a lot of us feel exhausted by the constant pressure and competition of modern life, and this anime, it's like a breath of fresh air. It offers a vision of something different, a kind of utopian hope. It shows a different way of solving our problems. And that is resonating with so many people who are looking for an alternative. And that alternative is rooted in this Korean cultural DNA. Now, this has nothing to do with genetics. It's a philosophy, a worldview passed down for centuries, with its roots in ancient shamanism, and it's all about collective healing. Here's the most important part. The goal isn't to conquer your enemy. It's to resolve the problem between you so you can create harmony. That's a huge difference. And you see this struggle perfectly in the two main characters. You have Rumi, the group's leader, who is secretly terrified because she was born half demon. And then there's Jinu, the rival, who is secretly a slave to a demon thanks to a bad deal he made 400 years ago. They are both trapped by these huge hidden traumas they think they have to deal with all alone. So their journey to heal isn't just a personal one. It actually shows us a fundamentally different way of looking at the world. It's a move away from a simple good guys versus bad guys battle and towards something way more interesting. Think about it like this. A lot of Western stories are built on dualism, right? Two big forces like heaven and hell are locked in a fight to the death. One has to win. But the Korean worldview in this show, called Chonji-in, is a trinity. You have heaven, you have earth, and then you have the human. And the human isn't just a victim caught in the middle. The human's job is to be the mediator, to bring the two opposing sides into harmony. Now, to really get this idea of harmony, we need to talk about a concept called Han. Han is a uniquely Korean word for this deep, collective feeling of unresolved injustice. It's that grief or resentment that just sits there in your soul because it was never properly dealt with. And both Rumi and Jinu are carrying a whole lot of Han. So if Han is the spiritual wound, then Haewon Sang-seng is the medicine. It's the process of healing. But look at how it works. It's not about crushing the source of your pain or just forgetting about it. It's about carefully, patiently untangling that knot of pain so that everyone involved can finally move on and thrive together. It's a culture of overcoming, not conquering. Which brings us right back to Jinu's story. I mean, seriously, how do you even begin to heal a wound that's 400 years old? How do you resolve a Han that has defined every moment of your existence? The show's answer is, not with a bigger sword. And this is where the show's philosophy just completely shines. Rumi doesn't destroy Jinu. She doesn't even beat him. Instead, she listens to his story. She accepts him, demon side and all, and embraces him with love. And in that one act of acceptance, they create a new kind of harmony that's stronger than anything before it. She doesn't erase his past, she helps him embrace it. That right there is Haewon Sang-seng. Okay, so you have this incredibly powerful cultural message, but it's being delivered through an equally powerful modern method. And this is where Professor Lee brings in this other wild idea. He says the show is so effective because it operates in a state that the French philosopher Jean Baudrillard called hyperreality. So what the heck is hyperreality? Well, it's that weird place where the simulation of a thing becomes more real, more important than the thing itself. It's when the map becomes more interesting than the actual territory it represents. And believe me, K-pop Demon Hunters is an absolute masterclass in creating this. Baudrillard said this happens in 4 stages. Let's walk through it with the anime. So, stage 1, the image starts by reflecting a real thing. In this case, actual Korean shamanistic traditions. Stage 2, it masks that reality with something fictional, our K-pop idols. Stage 3, and this is where it gets trippy. The fiction gets so good, it makes you forget there isn't a real version of this happening. And finally, stage 4, it becomes a simulacrum. The anime now has no connection to reality. It is its own reality, a hyper-real world that feels totally complete. The show does this so cleverly by setting its fantasy in very real places. You see these gorgeous animated versions of actual spots in Seoul, like Naksan Park or the Namsan Tower. And they're often drawn to be even more beautiful, more romantic, more perfect than they are in real life. And here's the wild part, the proof that it's working. That hyper-real animated world is now directly changing the real world. International tourists are flocking to these specific locations in Seoul, not just to look at them, but to act out their favorite scenes from the anime. The simulation has become so powerful, it's creating real-world tourism and economic activity. Mind blown. So what happens when you combine an ancient philosophy of healing with a hyper-modern, super immersive way of telling a story? Well, you get something incredibly powerful. You get a tool that lets us actually dream a new world into existence. It's really an amazing pairing when you think about it. On one hand, you have Hwang Sang-sing, this ancient cultural DNA for creating harmony. And on the other hand, you have hyper-reality, this technology for telling stories that feel more real than real. The anime uses this brand new medium to transmit a very old and very important message. And at its heart, that message is for us. Through Rumi and Jinu, the show is telling us that real freedom doesn't come from pretending our flaws don't exist. It comes from having the courage to show our true selves, scars and all, and building a new, authentic life from that place of honesty. And this all points to something some thinkers are calling a dream society. The idea is that in the future, the most valuable things won't be physical products, but powerful stories and dreams. In this future, a hyper-real story like this anime isn't just an escape, it's a laboratory. It's a place where we can imagine a better world and maybe, just maybe, get the inspiration to go out and build it. So when you put it all together, Professor Lee's analysis shows us that K-pop Demon Hunters isn't just another hit show. It's a blueprint for a world that chooses healing over fighting, acceptance over judgment, and recognizes the incredible power that our shared stories have to actually reshape reality. Which leaves us with a pretty big question to chew on. We tend to dismiss fiction as just fantasy, right? An escape from the real world. But what if that's wrong? What if these imagined worlds we create actually hold the key to healing our real one?